Happy NLCS Game 2 day, Philadelphia. Jamie Lynch, Renee, Washington, Tyler Zulli here as it is Tuesday, Game 2, NLCS. Last night, the Phillies took advantage of the series being at home, pounced all over them in the first inning with Bryce Harper and a Schwarber bomb. And then RIP Suzanne Summers. Nick Castellanos joined the party later in the game, and you got a pretty comfortable win. There was some tight butts at times, but I don't want to forget about how dominant Zack Wheeler was. He is quietly becoming, or is, the best big game pitcher in baseball. That torch may be getting passed to him officially because he was spectacular tonight. You saw it in the sixth inning, Renee, where he started kind of not missing bats anymore. They started making contact off of him. I thought it was the right decision to pull him there in the seventh and just go to your bullpen because the sixth inning in the prior round is also when he started to kind of like lose a little bit of velocity, start hitting a little bit more bats. So I thought Rob Thompson made the absolute right call in sending the bullpen out there in the seventh inning.
Yeah, and 7 more, Topper.
Yeah.
As Nick's always reminding us, it's ring season. And you talk about Game 1 Monday night, and the way that Zack Wheeler was performing was remarkable. I mean, Zack Wheeler, not only someone that we've really grown to enjoy on the mound, but off the mound, of course, announcing a child with his wife, and has been talking a lot about what this city and what this team and what it means to be here in Philly.
These Phillies have sex.
Yes.
With ladies, and they make babies. That's what they do.
That kind of like weirdly rhymes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it sounded like a little bar a little bit. But that's not what we're talking about with Wheeler. I was trying to get to the fact he's becoming...
Congrats on the sex, Zach. Great job by you.
Great job. Zack Wheeler has become a fan favorite because it's always nice to see an athlete's other side. You know, when we start hearing him talk about the importance of family, and his wife's family is from New Jersey, so they have the support for their little one, and those things are important.
That's
and then
huge.
when you add into the other side of it, the amount of historic performances and records that he's been a part of, and in the postseason specifically, Zack Wheeler has shown why he's the best pitcher in baseball. I know I've talked about it a few times, but the power rankings that the league dropped about top pitchers in the league, and Zack Wheeler was number one. Well, that's because Zack Wheeler's number one in a lot of different statistical categories at this point, and continues to break records and shatter records with every single postseason game that he started in. So, to see 8 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched, and the fact that even after giving up that hit to Corbin Carroll, 15 batters that he retired in a row. And, it wasn't until the 6th inning that we saw that streak come to an end. So, for Zack Wheeler, just phenomenal performances. And a great way to start off the NLCS is another point. I mean, Aaron Nola will get to start Game 2, but Zack Wheeler, much like we've seen Zack Wheeler do in past series, has set the tone for the Phillies.
Absolutely.
And it's a great way to set the tone, to start off with a nice commanding begin to Game 1.
Yeah, with this offense and setting the tone in Game 1s here with Wheeler and his dominance is a recipe for success. And let's talk about some of the historical kind of rankings that Zack Wheeler has found himself in through his 3 playoff games. So his 8 strikeouts last night on Monday night now gave him 26 through 3 playoff starts. He's 15th in baseball history, which is actually a little bit better than that because they just have him tied on Baseball Reference. But he joins Max Scherzer twice, Josh Beckett back in the 2007 Boston Red Sox days, and this guy named Bob Gibson. If you've heard of him, he was maybe the greatest pitcher ever. So that's pretty good. 26 strikeouts over the 3 playoff starts. Now here's a couple more historical markings for Zack Wheeler. I think this is good, Renee. See if you can confirm with me. He has the lowest career Major League Baseball postseason whip, which is walks and hits allowed per innings pitched, of 40 or more total innings pitched. He's in first with a .695 whip. The guy right behind him, Mariano Rivera at .759, then Kenley Jansen at .796, and this guy Sandy Koufax at .825. So anytime you're finding yourself nestling in MLB stat history with Mariano Rivera, Sandy Koufax, and Bob Gibson, I would say you're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the postseason whip that we've seen from Zach has catapulted him to the top spot. And, just having so many innings, scoreless innings, not giving up hits. Obviously, game 2 finishes with 10 strikeouts in that series against the Braves in the NLDS. Game 1 against the Diamondbacks, 8 strikeouts. You have 5 innings that you don't give up a run, and it's not until the 6th inning that the Diamondbacks get on the scoreboard. So, I think the fact that Zack Wheeler, there's like steady and consistent, and then there's wheeling and dealing, and you're not giving up hits.
Pun intended.
You're not giving up hits. Like, the position you put your team in when you're not giving up walks and hits is remarkable, especially at this stage of the season. So, I think for us, as we've talked about before, I know we talked about in our post-game show, that's why you have so much confidence in Zack Wheeler taking them out. That's why you have so much confidence in setting the tone early. This is a team that has struggled at times throughout the regular season of digging themselves in holes, having slow starts. And this postseason, we haven't been seeing that. And Monday night was another example of Zach is getting things done on the mound. And then on the other side, Kyle Schwarber starting us off with that leadoff homer. Bryce Harper following suit with a birthday homer. Nick Castellanos following suit with a Suzanne Summers homer.
Yeah. Shout out Suzanne.
Shout out to the Ghost Rider, Nick Castellanos.
Ghostianos.
Johnny Blaze.
And know you're a huge Nicolas Cage fan. Apparently.
Sure. I am now. So it's great to see the way the Phillies have continued to just solidify themselves on both sides. And it's dangerous. There's depth there. And it's something that makes this team the front runner to win it all.
Yeah, you said it. Like, he's not walking people either. Yeah, he's not allowing a ton of hits, but he's not making mistakes that end up costing him. And here's some more Zack Wheeler stat porn for you. In the history of MLB postseason, opponents' OPS, which is your slugging plus on base, which would lend to him, if he was walking people, this number would be a lot higher. Since 1969, it was not history. Since 1969, the lowest postseason opponent OPS in baseball. Mariano Rivera is first at .440. Zack Wheeler is second at .447. Right behind him is Tim Lincecum, who strung together like an absurd 5 or 6 seasons of baseball. Kenley Jansen, who has shown up as a big-time playoff performer, and then this guy named Nolan Ryan. So again, Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, Mariano Rivera, Nolan Ryan. I think Zack Wheeler is officially keeping good company in the history of baseball.
He definitely is. And my last thing that I will add is across the 3 playoff games that we've seen from Zack Wheeler, 1 in each series, Zack Wheeler has given up just 2 home runs, 4 total earned runs.
That's good.
That's very good. And then for hits, Zack Wheeler has only given up 11 hits in those 3 games. So, we like the numbers. The numbers, as we always talk about, numbers don't lie. And Zack Wheeler continuing to put up historic numbers has really helped the Phillies lock themselves in as a front runner and as a team that is a favorite. Now Texas on the other side in the ALCS.
We'll worry about
we're
them
not worried
when we
about
get
that
there.
right now. That's why I'm going to just clarify. We see what's happening with Texas,
yes,
but we also see what's happening with the Phillies, which is why to see the way Zack Wheeler is performing, hopefully Aaron Nola will follow suit again today, and the Phillies will keep on rolling into Game 2. Can't wait to be there for Game 2 also.
Yeah.
And can't wait to see how exciting and fun everything's going to be at Citizens Bank Park tonight.
Yeah, headed down on the subway shortly to Citizens Bank Park. We will be live again after the game immediately, reacting hopefully to a Game 2 victory. Hopefully Aaron Nola, as you said, takes that torch and runs with it and sets the Phillies up beautifully. Thanks for checking out some of our stuff here at the PHLY Phillies podcast. We'll see you tonight after hopefully a Game 2 victory. See ya.
Go Phils.